Hi everyone. Today we're going to discuss about Hunter Commission, which was recommended in 1882. So let us go to the first slide. Hunter Commission 1882. So we shall see what happened before the Hunter Commission. So after the Woods Dispatch, so they neglected the primary education. So as per the recommendations of Woods Dispatch, they did not follow and then they neglected the primary education. They gave only priority to higher education. They give priority to higher education, and granting aid means financial support or financial aid was not fully implemented. Fully not implemented to whom means to the private sector or private institutions, right? So, seeing these all things, at the time the Governor General was a Lord Ripon. Governor General was Lord Ripon. He appointed one commission with 20 members. He appointed one commission with 20 members under the chairmanship of William Wilson Hunter. So, under the chairmanship of William Wilson Hunter. Who was the William Wilson Hunter? Means he was an Indian Civil Service officer. He was a Indian Civil Service officer and a member of the Executive Council. He was a member of the Executive Council. So, on which date it was happened? Appointed means on 3rd February 1882, this committee was appointed. On 3rd February 1882, the Hunter Commission was appointed under the chairmanship of William Wilson Hunter. So, what is the purpose of this commission? Means this commission should examine the problems of education. They should examine the problems of education and make appropriate suggestions as well as fundamental changes. So, main work of this commission is examining the problems of education and making the appropriate suggestions as well as fundamental changes in primary education. So, they focused on mainly on primary education, right? And Lord Ripon, the Governor General at the time, Lord Ripon, he asked to submit a report as to what further action should be taken. So he asked to submit a report. To whom he asked? William Wilson Hunter. So he was the chairman of this commission. This commission was called as a Hunter Commission. So in this, nearly 20 members was there. So their work is to submit a report to what further action should be taken. And this commission is known as a First Indian Education Commission. So it's a very, very important point. This commission known as a First Indian Education Commission. So what recommendations it made, what instructions it gave, we shall see. Hunter Commission's recommendations. So what were the recommendations here? Indigenous schools means Swadeshi schools should be encouraged. So indigenous schools are Swadeshi schools should be encouraged and in a management by Indians as a members. If the administration is by British people or any other people. So if they are handling the schools, then Indians must be as a members in that. So in that committee, Indians must be as a members. And the management of primary education to be undertaken by local bodies. So the primary education management, who should look after this primary education management? Means the local bodies. Local bodies, it should be hand over to local bodies. Government should provide financial support to these schools. So local bodies should look after the primary education and the government should provide what? The government doesn't need to involve in this. Only their work is what? To provide the financial support to these schools. And coming to the curriculum. Curriculum should be prepared according to the public needs. Means what public requires. And mainly focusing on vocational educations or to making them to work in a daily life to get the employment. So that kind of curriculum should be prepared. And teachers should be trained. So what recommendations he gave? Teachers should be trained. Without a training, the teacher should not be appointed. And mother tongue should be the language of instruction or language of medium. So mother tongue or vernacular language should be the language of instructions in which schools? In a primary schools. So mother tongue should be used. The government should gradually withdraw from the secondary level. So by the time the government was looking after what? Secondary level. After the primary, secondary level government was looking after. But what he suggested here, government should withdraw from that secondary level. See here, the primary level school should be looked after by local bodies and secondary level and also government should be withdrawn. But who should look after this? Means responsibility should be left to whom? Private sector. So this secondary level responsibility looked after by whom? Private sector. What is the role of government here? Means should subsidize them. The government should give financial support here, subsidies to the schools. And coming to the management of higher education. So responsibility of colleges should be handed over to universities. Here also, government should encourage the colleges by providing grants. Here also same thing happened. What is that? Higher education responsibility given to universities. So here also government should withdraw their support from higher education. Only it should be given responsibility to universities. So higher education's responsibility. What universities will do, what government should do means the government should encourage the colleges. Government should encourage the colleges by providing grants. Again, here financial support. Simple logic here. Primary schools should be looked after by local bodies. Secondary level schools by the private sector, and higher education and college level is by universities. What is the government role here? The government role is providing the financial support or financial aid or granting aid also we can call. So this is the responsibility of government here. And primary education. So primary education should be divided into two parts. They suggested that primary education should be divided into two parts or two stages. First stage is from 1 to 5. Second stage is from 6 to 7 or 8. So primary education up to 8, 7 or 8 years. And first stage 1 to 5. Second stage is 6 to 7 or 8. Secondary education boards established at district and municipal levels. So here, secondary education boards are established. So in which places? District and municipal levels. So these boards, what they have to do? They're supposed to fund the schools. So district and municipal level secondary educational boards, they should support or they should give financial support to the schools by collecting the taxes, either collecting the taxes or taking the help from the government and providing financial assistance to secondary schools. And it's suggested that Indians should also be appointed as the supervisors of schools. So what is the responsibility of here Indians? Means by the, if you observe here, they suggested that Indians should also be appointed as a supervisors. Means by that time only English people were working as a supervisors of Swadeshi as well as Videsh English medium schools also. Vernacular mother tongue schools and English medium schools. Only English people were working as a supervisors. But this commission suggested that Indians should be appointed as a supervisors. And donations should be made to private girls' schools for the spread of education among women. So government, what they have to do, if they either they should establish the girls' schools. If not, they have to give donations to private girls' schools. It's nothing but grants in aid. Grant in aid should be given to the private girls' schools for the spread of education among women. And a special monitoring team by women officers to advise on the promotion of women's education. So till that time only men officer was working. Men officers were working as an advisory committee, but he's recommended special monitoring team by women officers because the women can understand the problems of girls or women. So that is the reason women officers should be appointed. And SC, ST, BC women should be given free admission to schools without fees. So there should be no fees to this SC, ST, BC women or backward people related to girls here, women education. And a special educational facility should be provided for Muslim women. State governments lower the examination standards at primary level. So examination standard should not be difficult. Should not be difficult because our Indians were started learning now only. So that is the reason they should not make it the standardized examination pattern. So because of this, the students will panic. So he recommended that lower the examination standards. In which level? Primary level. So it becomes easy to involve in education. And more funds should be spent on secondary education. So funds also should be spent where? On secondary education because they were providing funds, very less funds to the secondary education. That is the reason he recommended. Scholarship should be provided for those going abroad for higher education. Those who are going for abroad, they should be given scholarships. Who should give scholarship here? Means government. Teacher training institutes should be established and trained teachers should be appointed in schools. Already we discussed these points. So government has to establish institutes. What is that? Teacher training institutes. Like nowadays we have B.Ed colleges. And trainee teachers need to pass tests on teaching principles, teaching methods, and teaching and learning experiences. Teachers has to pass examinations on related to these topics. Training of teachers on vocational education because students has to depend on vocational education only to get the employment or livelihood. So teachers also should be trained on a vocational education. It becomes easy to teach to the students. Agriculture, geomathematics, banking, physics of daily life. So local needs curriculum should be included in the curriculum. So these subjects should be involved in the curriculum. Health and fitness should be recognized as integral parts of education and priority should be given to courses in schools. Mainly, health and fitness also should be involved in the courses. No religious teachings in the schools. Only they should follow the secularism in the schools, institutions. There should be no, they should not favor to any one religion. Developments after the Hunter Commission. In 1887, a textbook committee was formed in India. So it's a very, very important point. In 1887, British people have appointed one committee. That committee was called as a textbook committee. We shall discuss about briefly about this in next video. After Hunter Commission, many primary schools were established in country. So mainly these people focused on primary schools. Because of this Hunter Commission, many primary schools were established. Between 1897 and 1902, there was a terrible drought and plague. So these diseases were spread. Many school children died. There was a drought, no rainfall and no production of crops. And plague also spreaded. Due to this, many school children was died between 1897 to 1902. Between 1897 to 1899, the doors of the schools were not even open. So now, recently we have faced that corona pandemic. So in that period also, we observed that 2 years after, 2 years of time, the schools were not open. The same way, because of plague also, 2 years, schools were not open. 1897-1902 is known as a silent period. It is known as a silent period because of the stagnation in the Indian education system. And 1899, there was a important year for Indian people because a Lord Curzon, he was appointed as a Governor General. So till 1899, who was a Governor General means here Lord Ripon was the Governor General. So in 1899, who was appointed here? Lord Curzon appointed as a Governor General. So before appointing, he traveled 6 years of period total the Asian country. So he toured the Asian country for 6 years. After understanding the total problems of these people, then he was appointed as a Governor General of India. Thank you for watching this video. Whoever not subscribed the channel, subscribe the channel, like the video and mention your opinion in the comment section. Whoever is preparing for school assistant as well as SGT post, kindly forward this link to them also. Thank you once again.